Hi, I'm John,
And I'm not John.
and we're taking a step back this week. It's Valentine's in a couple of days, and we'd like to let our better halves have a go.
Firm believers of equality here, so please sit back and enjoy. Would Valentine's rather?
Hi, I'm John, and I have no mundane fact this week, but I will introduce you to our two lovely guest hosts.
Hey, I'm Kirsten, John's better half. And
Yes, very much so.
thanks, John. And I have never ridden on a wind boat.
And I'm Lauren.
No, it's fine.
Sorry.
I was just shocking for the Floridian.
I know, don't tell my kinsmen.
Oh
They'll
my god.
boot me out of the motherland.
Sorry, Lauren. Now I'm back from shock.
No, it's all right, because I just realised what you said, and I'm like, I've ridden on a wind boat.
That's like you saying you've never had mash and gravy.
Is that because I'm from the north, though? Are we bringing that up?
Well, you know.
Oh, well. Okay, all right.
I don't hold it against you.
I wouldn't be surprised if you do, because I'm kind of used to it.
You know, secretly, I was born in Aberdeen, so actually, on paper, I'm Scottish.
You're like super north, then.
I was born closer to the Arctic Circle than Moscow is.
Sweet.
So yeah. Anyway, this is a very special edition of Would John Rather, where I'm going to ask the spouses of my dear podcast hosts some questions, and it's a Valentine's Day special. So for all of you who are lonely and at home and listening to this, my heart goes out to you. So my first question is, both of you will be moving into new accommodation. Should I buy you, or sorry, would we rather have a houseplant or an ornament from me?
Houseplant.
Ornament.
Yeah, definitely a houseplant. Because if you think about plants and the rainforest, it produces oxygen, and I'm trying to quit smoking, and Matt isn't, so I need some extra oxygen to, replenish my lungs and stuff. And plus, with an ornament, it's like everyone's got different tastes. A plant I don't know much about, so you could give me like a blade of grass and it would be fine.
What about if I were to get you a tobacco plant and then you both be winners?
No, because I'm trying to actually quit smoking properly, because I keep going back to smoking, which I'm not blaming Matt, but it doesn't help when you.
I'm not blaming him, but
if he didn't smoke as well, I'd be fine. But
it's all right. We blame Matt for everything.
Same. Actually, I'm starting to learn that now. But actually, with a tobacco plant, my favourite perfume is made with tobacco flower. So that's fine, because I could just make my own perfume. Feel free.
Cool.
So I feel like an ornament would be best, because I've got a load of houseplants now, and what they don't tell you is that it's like having a pet, because you have to ask someone to water it while you're away, and it constantly makes a mess, and you have to clean up after it with like the leaves falling, and sometimes they just get sick and die for no reason or get ill, and then you have to spend a bunch of money on more plants. Whereas with an ornament, I like lots of trinkets around the house, and if you got me an ornament and it was just really ugly or I didn't like it or whatever, I could just re-gift it to someone else, and you would actually be saving me money.
You can re-gift it to Matt and Lauren.
I'd put it up, because
yes.
I'm not.
There you go. Lauren's winning.
Yes. Plus, when you say about looking after your plants, if you got me a cacti or a cactus, or succulents even, don't have to look after them, and also orchids as well. They don't need a lot of watering, and then they just die anyway, and they come back to life. People tend to throw them away, but they come back to life, so it's fine. And I've got 3 cats currently, and I can look after them pretty well. So I'm sure a plant is going to be a walk in the park in comparison to 3 needy, annoying cats.
See, I'm a little bit unsure about cats. No, not cats. No, I'm unsure about plants, because my mum gifted me some aloes, and they are indestructible, and they've survived. My wife has had several plants, and she's killed all of them. But we had dog for years before, unfortunately, he got unwell, and that was through no fault of our neglect. There wasn't any neglect. He was loved by all, but I really struggle with plants because they just die in our house. The ones I look after are well, the equivalent of plant cockroaches. They are indestructible.
So I
But yeah,
had like
had a-
succulents and as like a gift, and I thought I was taking good care of them and stuff, and then they just died. Whereas like I've got these herb plants, and it's like you said, every time I feel like they're about to die, they suddenly just like make a massive comeback, and then they kind of like after a few months just start to die again, and I'm not doing anything different. So I just wonder if they're just being difficult. No?
Taken after your husband.
Maybe.
Children.
Mm,
Okay,
Yeah.
so plants are the gift that keep giving, and if I bought you a plant and it died and came back again, I wouldn't have no idea that it would did that. So I'd play it cool and say, yeah, I meant that.
Yeah, I'd purposely, if you came round to our house, I'd be like, look, this is the plant, and it's still alive and it's fine, because I look after it and cherish it with all my heart.
Oh,
So nice person I am.
so Kirsten, what's the biggest benefit of having an ornament?
Because I just be like, put it pride of place on the fire mantle thing, and just be like, oh, every time I look at it, I just think of your guys' generosity and your kindness and thoughtfulness for welcoming us into our new home.
We're such women, aren't we? Sweet talk.
Definitely wouldn't hide it away in a cupboard or re-gift it.
See, that worries me. It worries me that you don't think my taste is nice enough to give you a gift that you don't even have to consider hiding it or regifting it.
I just reckon if it was an ornament, it'd be something either from you at least, it'd be dinosaur themed, or it'd be a giant guitar or bass speaker.
See, I'd be happy with a dinosaur themed something.
I
Same.
was going to say, knee-jerk reaction would have been something dinosaur related,
Yeah.
like a nice big fossilized tooth or something that's not like a giant cheesy plastic toy, because I've got many of those in my house because I have a 3-year-old. Something classy and adult. Like I probably couldn't afford to get you like a full-size T-Rex head, and it may be a little bit intrusive to your everyday life, but I'd try.
You could get like something you could mount on the wall, like a
dinosaur head,
yeah,
like a stag head,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Triceratops.
like we're
That'd be
putting
an
up
amazing
a,
gift.
we're putting up a metal stag's head in the house.
Hold on.
Wait. Didn't Matt have it with Luke's flat? Didn't they
Yeah.
have a deer or something? What was
Keith.
its name? Keith.
He did
Okay,
We're
mention
just
right.
something
sending
about
us
that.
Keith.
Right. I don't want to write you off, Laura, and I don't want to like make you lose the question under principle. We will talk about Keith later, but at the moment, you have won this question. Quite happy with that.
I am quite happy with that. I'm an only child, remember. I don't do share side packs, and I used to win everything as a child because I had no one to play with. So I am quite happy with that.
Oh,
And I
wish
was the less favored child growing up, so I'm just used to losing everything.
Oh,
Oh no! This
that's
is the
really
episode.
sad.
Oh, right. I'm going to try not let that sway me. I'm going to try not give you.
Damn it.
This is the part where we do our Twitters. My Twitter is John Would Rather. We have no H's. Because there's a very prominent H in the Holocaust, and I just don't want to be reminded of that.
And my Twitter handle is Amore Explorer No You, and you'll just find a mixture of whiskey and outdoor stuff on there. And that's about it.
I don't use Twitter as such, so I'm just gonna throw in, go and check out Mind. Mind's a charity for mental health. That's where that's what I do. I work in mental health, and just go and check it out, read up on it, get to know mental health a little bit better. Then.
So is it a little bit like a busman's holiday when you come home to Matt?
In my job, we have to do this thing called emotional support, and it's basically just if people have got problems, we're there to just listen, give kind of advice. So going home to Matt is kind of it's that. I'm only joking. It's not. It's not. It's fine. It's a bit of a. It's yeah. He just plays his video games. He's quite happy with his.
He's a content little 9-year-old in a 30-year-old's body.
He is, and it's fine. You can just get him to watch video games, and I can go and plod about.
Cool. Are you ready for the next question?
Go on.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one that I was really unsure about asking the guys. So I'll ask you to instead. I don't know if that's.
Oh God.
It doesn't bother me. I thought either option's good. Would you rather live in a world where dogs were the size of spiders, or spiders were the size of dogs?
Oh, dogs with the size of spiders. Because then they'd fit in your pocket, and you could just take a dog with you everywhere you went.
Well, that's nice and all, but at least with like a spider that's the size of a dog, they'd make huge webs, and instead of buying furniture for your house, you could just have like a brand new hammock made every night, and they'd tuck you in and stuff. And also, like, have you seen those films where there's like the poor kids kind of getting picked on by the bullies? We've got the big scary dog. Like, I could walk in and save the day with my giant spider thing that would just wrap them up in webs, and they'd be like hanging from a tree upside down, like shouting profanities at me, and I'd be like, I've got a spider dog, so bye. Not bothered.
But wouldn't you be worried about the spider, like if you're sitting in that hammock and it like lulled into a false sense of security, and then it would just lunge at you and like wrap you up for later for dinner?
I'm a spider whisperer, so I can like make friends with any form of spider. Like, it doesn't, just best mates with tarantulas and stuff.
Ugh.
That's me. Matt doesn't know that we're probably going to get a pet tarantula. We're not. We're actually not. I really don't like spiders, but having a giant one would be fine. I'd deal with it, especially if it was like a little cute money spider. They got nice patterns on them. The fuzzy little. Actually, no. One of the ones that wears like a water droplet as a hat. That's the type of spider I want.
Also, if you could tame a spider, right, to like let you ride it like a horse, you could go like anywhere, like on roofs and everything else, and get to places really fast.
Exactly. It wouldn't be Spider-Man, it would be Spider-Girl, because I'd just be like riding my giant spider into saving people's lives, and flying about New York City.
I'm actually quite impressed that both of you agreeing on massive spiders, and we've just glossed over the fact that you could have pocket dogs.
But like pocket dogs is a really easy one. Everybody would want to have a pocket dog. Like, you already have handbag dogs. Just pocket dogs would just be like the next stage, wouldn't it?
I know, but I'd feel really mean putting like a little dog in my pocket, because just like, what if I sit down awkwardly, or if I fall over, squish the dog? I couldn't live with myself if that happened.
Yeah, but then you just look in the back corner of the shed, I'm sure there'll be another dog. Or that cupboard that you never go into.
Would they be in like little tiny dog houses, just hanging in the corner of the shed? Walk. That would be cute.
This is Kirsten's world. Kirsten, tell us more about Tiny Dog World.
But like, all right, so you hear some of the complaints that people have about not being able to have a dog, like especially living in London, where you don't have any space or the landlord won't yet let you. And it's like, well, if the dog was that tiny, you could hide it away somewhere and the landlord wouldn't know. And you could easily have enough space in your flat in London for a dog, for like several dogs. It'd just be living the dream.
But like, how could you like play with them? Because you'd lose them, wouldn't you? You couldn't play fetch with it.
You just have to get like, I don't know, little like marbles, or what's a really tiny ball?
I don't know.
I don't know. Ask John. He's got to. Sorry. I thought I was going to rise above it, but no, I completely didn't.
He's going to hear this like recording, and it's just going to get massive payback the like week after.
That's fine. My wife does not ever want to appear on this podcast.
Also, you could easily take a dog like traveling with you as well. It could go and like see the world by your side. You could easily you could just spit in a bag. Huh?
They could do that anyway, can't they?
No, some countries are really strict about like you have like letting dogs into the country and whatnot.
They'd probably actually be more strict on spiders, wouldn't they? Probably be even less likely to let a spider in the country.
I'd put it in a special spider kennel.
Spider kennel.
Yeah, spider kennels. I'm going to start a spider kennel, especially for all the giant spiders of the world.
That's very thoughtful.
And spider walking groups, and there's a whole world out there.
Imagine blind people with spiders instead of Labradors.
I think everyone would just completely move out of their way so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no crowds, no problem with that.
No, it'd be fine. They'd get around so easy. It'd actually help the blind nation because they'd probably be like more accessible, to get. Because I know to get a guide dog is very, very difficult, and it's based on like priority and stuff. So to get, because there's lots of spiders, so
they have like 1,000 babies at a time.
Exactly. So like one like spider will have its babies, and then like that's 1,000 more guide spiders.
Could you train a spider though to do guiding? Because like they can only use like some species of dogs, and it's like they have to do loads of training and have to be obedient and everything. Whereas spiders are like a bit nocturnal and just kind of do their own thing and chill out all day, just hanging from like your roof and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like these are spiders that put water droplets on their heads as hats. So
Yeah.
like this special kind of spider. They're fashion conscious as well.
I couldn't imagine a trapdoor spider be any good. Someone knocks on the door, and the next thing you know, the spiders rip the postman into the house through the letterbox.
Well, at least you've got your mail quickly.
And a pile of bones and skin on the floor.
You could become a mass murderer as well and get away
The
with
blind
it.
person. How is the blind person going to deal with that?
They won't know.
Ignorance is bliss.
They'd hear a noise and be like, "Shep, what's going on?"
Shep the- Oh,
It's cute, isn't it? It's just a cute spider that's helping the nation.
I feel like it was cute until I had this image of just like a labyrinth of postman bones and this blind person like shuffling around their house, knocking into like old kneecaps and skulls and shit.
They're a goth. They're like goth blind people. That's how they wanted it. They listened to Darkwave and like bones around the place. And spiders.
It's a very niche market.
it is quite niche.
Well, sometimes to stand out of the crowd, you've got to be a little bit niche and a bit weird. Draws people in.
I might call it there. I'm starting to get a little bit of a morbid fear that the next time I eye a spider up and think about rolling a newspaper, it's just going to drag an unsuspecting postman through my letterbox and leave mank everywhere. Because it's going to happen on like a hot summer's day, so I'm going to get it back in and there's going to be flies everywhere, and it's just going to, it's not even nice.
There won't be flies everywhere if you've got a spider, though.
Well, a
You'll eat them
spider
all.
the size of a Labrador is probably not going to be bothered by eating flies.
Might eat them still, though. And the
I'm not-
webs will catch it. Your web hammock, remember? They'll catch all the flies, so you'll have no insects around your house.
That's true, but the scaling up does worry me. Like, is the spider just going to start preying on the neighbourhood cats?
But he
And
has
I've
got a water droplet as a hat. That's very important.
even when it's 4 foot long,
Even when it's 4 foot long.
just a single water droplet.
Just like on, like a jazzy little edge to the water droplet hat. Just like on an edge, so it looks kind of jazzy for him.
As much as I like the idea of giant spiders, because spiders actually have paws, which is dead cute.
Oh,
You don't see them unless you look at them under a microscope. It's probably not going to be the safest option, because there's always going to be that guy that thinks it's really cool to have a staffy. And scaled up to that, he's going to have something, either a bird-eating spider or a black widow or something. And it's just, funnel. It's just going to be so much more hassle having chavs with dangerous spiders.
Yeah. Well, it's the same concept as like, that's why pit bulls got banned from the UK, because there's always some idiot that made the dog really dangerous, and it'll be the same for the spiders, unfortunately. So I get it.
It will be, and I like all of the dogs, so I'm probably going to have a dog within the next year or so, but that'll be one dog. If I can have pocket dogs, I can have 45 of them. And I would love them all. So yeah, I was undecided, but the terror that would ensue, I think massive spiders is probably a bad idea.
Oh.
See, all this talk about little pocket dogs is just really making me want a dog now. Oh.
Are you buying
Oh, well.
You have a dog?
No, I want one though. But John won't get one because he hates wildlife. He basically hates any animal he can't eat.
You can't really eat penguins. They're not local.
He likes
Likes penguins.
Should get a pet penguin.
Oh, don't. He has looked into this.
They smell really bad.
They stink, and it would just like live in the bathtub, which he was quite happy with, but I feel like the penguin wouldn't.
No, they'd want to like waddle about in pools and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not turning my like flat into an aquarium.
You can have I'll lend you one of my spiders if you want my giant spiders for your aquarium.
Thanks. An aquatic. Wait, is there such a thing as an aquatic spider?
Probably.
Water spiders.
Isn't they the ones that like sit on the top and you see them like run across?
Yeah, water spiders. I believe there's also a type of spider that traps little air pockets under the hairs in its legs, so it can dive underwater and then eat tadpoles.
Oh. But then I don't like frogs. Frogs creep me out, so that's good.
Okay. Are you ready for a last question? Because we're all tied. I didn't think we would be. I had my heart set on massive spiders originally, but can't be dealing with that now. Yeah. Sorry, last question. Would you rather be single forever or a home wrecker?
Ooh,
single forever.
No. All right. Damn it. Okay, this is not a good. All right, I'd rather be a home wrecker. Yay. I love that Matt's going to edit this and he'll probably like just cut this whole question out. And...
John, have you got a spare question?
I've got plenty of spare questions.
Do you know what? I'm okay with this one. I can deal with this one. It's fine. Yeah, I'd rather be a home wrecker because at least, like, you know, albeit it's someone else's spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, I'll always have someone to kind of connect with on a mental and physical scale. I know it's not good having an affair behind someone's back and tearing up families and stuff, but you've got to be selfish in life because no one looks after yourself better than you do, and therefore I am going to do that, and I'm not going to be single, and I'll take who I can and when I can. That's really creepy sounding, but I don't mean it like that.
Yeah, I was with you up until it sounded like you were just going to drag someone off in the street corner and make.
Yeah, just like, you know, like the Futurama episode, like snoo snoo, and just like drag someone away. But no, not like that. I just mean like, you know, I'll go back to you need to look after yourselves, and you don't want to be alone. No one wants to be alone. So
except for me.
Except for you.
See, I just feel like if you were single forever, just think of this. Like, you could go to sleep like whenever you want and like spread eagle on the bed. You could watch whatever TV you wanted whenever you wanted. You could eat whatever you want. I just think all the money as well that you'd save on like gifts at Christmas and like Valentine's Day and stuff throughout the year. And there's no saying you couldn't go off and have like flings with people and you just be that like fun, eccentric like person, like even in your old age, and you could just do whatever you wanted.
But you'd be like the weird aunt that turns up at a family function that always wears like really outlandish clothing, and everyone's like, that's Auntie Mildred, and she's never been married, and you know, who's the spinster in the Charles Dickens book? Miss Havisham? Is it Miss Havisham? The one that was going to get married and then he's left her at the altar?
I have not read Charles Dickens, so okay. I could not say.
I would Google it, but that's cheating, so I'm not going to.
Good. I'm glad that you two agree on that, because we have one. We won't point fingers, but we've got one person that's particularly bad for it.
I know exactly who you mean.
He goes very quiet.
That's naughty. He shouldn't do that, and I'm not going to do it.
And then he's got a really bad pun lined up in the other moments of silence.
Oh, his puns are terrible. Him and his brothers. I've been at the forefront.
Nathan's the worst.
Yeah, I've been at the forefront of them. Like when I was over in LA, we went to the Museum of Death, and they commented on my Facebook about all these different horrendous puns while I was asleep, and I just woke up to them and I was like, oh, you guys. Funny.
Oh,
So yeah, so you'd be that like that aunt, you know, the one from the Charles Dickens book that we can't agree on the name.
Mrs. H something or another.
I think it's Miss Havisham. I've got the feeling it is. I'm not going to Google it like we say, but you'd be that aunt, and you'd have that like stigma of being a spinster and having 5,000 cats, which to me doesn't seem like a bad thing. But on the other hand, you know, in my shoes, in my situation of wanting to be a home wrecker, I would never get bored. I'd just like, I could. With being a home wrecker, does that mean I'm just like breaking up marriages left, right, and centre, but not settling for any of them? Or
I didn't say like serial home wrecker. I just said a home wrecker. So you might have done it the once. Or you know, if it's a thing, you know, if that's your pastime, who am I to say?
Running theme of me at the minute apparently is I could just be like a Black Widow and just be like, boof, get rid of that marriage, boof, on to the next one. And just, you know, notorious, I guess.
But then, like, if you were just like a homewrecker, like notorious, like boof, 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 like going through all the men in the development or whatever, like, I just feel like you wouldn't have that many girlfriends, and you would just kind of, what's her name? Is it not Anna? Oh, why do we keep referencing classical literature? Anna Karenina?
That's definitely not Anna Kendricks.
No, I do like Anna Kendricks. Keira Knightley played her in a film recently.
But do you mean? Oh,
Keira Knightley played Anna Kendricks.
No. Anyway, where like she was like had an affair with a guy, went off with him, and like and whatnot. But then like she was the talk of all society, and everyone like scorned her, and she became so depressed like she killed herself.
Is it the Duchess or something like that?
It's similar period drama, but different period drama.
Okay.
It doesn't narrow it down with Keira Knightley.
Yeah. I zone out with Keira Knightley because she just looks the same in every single film with the same face, the same emotion.
Just kind of like pouts, wears a really elaborate like period dress.
Squints a bit.
Yeah.
Hey, how come she's made a career of that and I haven't?
Well,
you don't look good in period dress.
You want to bet?
I reckon you'd rock a good powdered wig with a tri-point hat. I think you'd look great.
Massive sideburns as well.
Huge. Down to your knees, sideburns.
Oh, the hideous thing about that is that's probably not too far from the truth. I
want to
think my
see
dad
this
was
now.
pretty Greek. I'm getting to the horrible old age bit in my life where I've got more hair on my back than I have my head.
Oh.
My dad was actually Stavros from the kebab shop.
You haven't asked Jess to like start waxing that off at the back.
No.
Well,
wow.
That's just killed that conversation.
Yeah, so period dramas and spinstering.
Keira Knightley and spinsters.
Yeah, Keira Knightley, yeah.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
I'll never forgive Keira Knightley for getting Jack Sparrow killed in Pirates of the Caribbean, getting eaten by the Kraken and into Davy Jones' locker. I'll never forgive her.
But they're doing another Pirates of the Caribbean film, aren't they?
Yeah, but Johnny Depp's not in it because he's too drunk and too old now, I think. Too
busy doing perfume commercials.
And beating women up, possibly.
He threw his phone at her.
Yeah, it's been
until that happened, and then she was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's been greatly kind of drawn out, hasn't it? Ooh, he threw a phone at me and I got a bit of a bruise on my face. Ow.
So wait, who's going to be in the next Pirates of the Caribbean film then?
Probably Pouty Knightley. I don't know.
What's the other guy's name that she was like had an interest with, and then it seemed to kind of
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, he wasn't in some of the films because he had to spend a lot of time in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Making a lot of.
Is that when he was doing The Hobbit?
I'm going to say yes because I'm really not sure of the timelines.
Or maybe it was because he was like on a boat on a raft being naked with Katy Perry, I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah.
someone-
Oh,
That was really great. Ew, no one wants to see that. Really don't.
yeah, no one wants to see Katy Perry naked here. No, none of us.
I'm more about, no, I don't want to see either, really. Just put some damn clothes on.
Anyway, you can watch all of the Lord of the Rings and all the Pirates of the Caribbean films if you don't have a spouse. That's one bonus, I suppose.
Yeah, you could also, like, live your life as Bridget Jones as well.
What, frumpy and unattractive?
That's kind of like the stigma that comes along with being single, I guess. People instantly think, oh, Bridget Jones, if someone's single.
But that's only like if it's
ready to mingle.
That's
Sure.
the
Just never
connotation
mingle.
if you're a single woman, though. If you're like James Bond, it's like, oh no, he's just a cool cat, just like picking up lots of chicks, chilling out in bars and wearing like sharp suits because, you know, he doesn't have to spend any money on a girlfriend. And that's all right for him to be single. But if Bridget Jones is single, they're like, oh, you're getting on a bit. Like, biological clock is ticking.
Because that's the short straw we're drawn as women. We always get the you know, the crappy side of life, really.
Yeah.
Poor women. And Matt's going to be so mad hearing it's so sexist. It's really funny. He's like, you women get everything. No, we don't.
No.
So, but yeah, if like, you know, I'm a home wrecker, it's not my fault that the man's kind of split up.
Weak-willed and pathetic.
Pardon?
Weak-willed and pathetic.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you want a guy who's weak-willed and pathetic? So I kind of feel like I'd be better off single than having to like spend my time with a guy that I was just like, oh, you're just a bit wet behind the ears. Like, meh, away with you.
But then I can just be like, oh, just go and wreck someone else's marriage. That man loves me.
Just keep going through them until you find a decent
all,
one.
all about the Jeremy Kyle drama that goes on. All about it. That's the thing. I could end up on Jeremy Kyle.
Isn't it filmed like down the street from you guys?
It's in Manchester. It's about 30 minutes away.
Well, according to Americans, that's down the street.
Yeah, it's down the street. Sorry.
Do you know
Manchester's-
Dave? You know Dave from Birmingham? No, shut up. Oh,
Yeah.
I met him once. He's got like grey hair and no, none of that.
What American accent is that?
Generic.
It's the generic one. Like, we got over when me and my friend went over there in August and September, and people were like, "Where are you guys from? Are you Australian?" And we're like, "No." And my friend, I'm originally from like a place called Chester, which is like a really small city.
Basically in Wales.
But on the border of Wales. It's very on the border. And my friend kept going, yeah, Chester. And everyone was kind of going,
Manchester?
and I was like, no, we're from Liverpool. It's easier just to say Liverpool. Oh, yeah, I can tell by your accent you're from Liverpool.
Oh, yeah, like the Beatles.
Yeah, the Beatles.
Love the Beatles.
My favourite thing to tell them is like, yeah. My nan used to work with, I don't know, Ringo Starr. Really?
Oh, you didn't even pick
Yeah.
any of the good ones.
I know, but Ringo, I got total mind fog then, you know, and you just kind of go, oh my God, I don't know any of the Beatles' names.
Stag Beetle. Ah! Lady Bird.
The one that got shot.
John Lennon?
Yeah. So yeah, it's fun trying to work Americans out. No offense, but you guys are ace. You guys are fun.
I resent that.
Are you getting to the point in your life where you lived in the UK longer than you have in the States now?
Getting there, yeah. Because I've been
There we
in
go.
the UK for like
but-
12 years now, but I was in the States for 16. So yeah, it's starting to encroach. But I find now, like, my accent has changed so much, right? That when I go over to the States, people don't think I'm from the States. But then in the UK, they don't think I'm from the UK either. Or from England, at least.
And so we're definitely not in the UK because you're way too friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm that creepy person on like the public transport that tries to start conversation with people.
Yeah, seriously, I've got to rein it in, but I've got a non-regional accent.
You just all sound posh to me. And then Matt throws that in my face because like everyone that's from Liverpool sounds like not
She-
very
Andrew Kyle.
not very intelligent, we'll say, because it's not the exact words he said, but he'll probably cut this out. But yeah, and I was like, you can't do that. You all sound like very, very posh to us. Wasn't North.
Well, I've said it on the podcast and I'll say it again, but if I ever had a brain surgeon that was a Geordie, like out and out Geordie, I'd just say, no, I'd rather hallucinate until I die, please.
Yeah, but it can't be any. The worst accent going is Birmingham. You've got to admit it.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm cancer free and I'd still be a bit worried that I'm going to die. Right.
Yeah, like I think, maybe Peaky Blinders was trying to glorify the Birmingham accent, but it's still nah. Ugh. There's just something about it that's just like no. That was filmed down the road from me. A bit of Peaky Blinders. There you go. Claim to fame. 10 minutes down the road, in a very small scene, but I could show you the house where it was.
Oh.
For the sake of the visual translation wouldn't work well in the podcast. We're just going to all go, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, just watch Peaky Blinders and just watch it and just think that could be the house that she's on about. Might not be, but it might be.
I'd just
But it
be
might
like,
be.
wait a minute, that looks like a house in Liverpool, not Birmingham.
Yes, exactly that. That looks too nice to be in Birmingham. That bin bag there. Oops.
I think I'm predicting the future. I can feel Matt editing this episode right now, and he's starting to get really upset with me for not getting back on track. So
Probably.
So
'Cause he normally
future
reins
Matt
it
is
in, doesn't
scorning past John. Yeah, he's trying to rein it in at the moment via Ouija board or something. I can feel the presence in the air. So if we have a closing argument from both yourselves, and then crown one of you the winner, and then hopefully the other one of you won't go back and beat your partners. Tell them that your podcast is shit and I'm the worst friend in the world.
This podcast has ended my marriage.
No, that's me, because I'm the home wrecker, remember? Woohoo!
But then I just said I prefer to be single for the rest of my life.
So does that mean everyone's a winner?
I think.
Or we're all losers?
Or we're all losers. I think we're all losers, personally.
Oh,
Possibly, right? Is it a better try.
Sorry, that was my phone going off.
It's all right.
that's your you've been podcasting too long. Come back to normality, please.
So yeah, being a home wrecker, it's kind of self-preservation. It's really hard to argue something like this without coming across as a massive horrible person. And it's not your fault if you pursue someone who, if they're weak-willed, don't settle for less.
Do you reckon that if you home wrecked and you snagged yourself a new man, you'd always have that thing in the back of your head going, what happens if we find someone better than me? Will I be left by the wayside?
No, because you'll never find anyone better than me.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Here we go.
And yeah, I'll be driving off into the sunset with my convertible Mustang and a headscarf on, like I don't know, Thelma and Louise, but not off a cliff, just into the arms of the next man. Oh yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. You'll have a great lifestyle. That's it.
Kirsten, you need to really promote cats very heavily to win this.
I mean, I don't see any downsides to this being single forever because, like you said, either A, you wind up with loads of cats and a household to yourself, which you can do whatever you want, whenever you want in there. And you don't have to deal with, like, someone's weird habits or their ugly, like, decorations unless they're, like, given to you as a housewarming gift. And it's not that.
That question sailed, Kirsten.
Huh?
That question sailed.
Clinging on to the compliment.
On the other hand, if you're not one of those, like, spinsters with a load of cats, you'll just be that fun, eccentric aunt or friend or whatever. And again, it's like you don't have any ties anywhere. You have complete freedom to just live with your life and do whatever you want. I don't see any downsides to this.
Okay, I'm at the point in life where I do a lot of cooking and cleaning. I could look after myself, and I physically could be single forever. But I'm needy. I'm not gonna lie. I need a bit of love. Yeah. I don't. It pains me to say it, but I think I'd go with Homewrecker.
What?
I don't think Little Mustang does win big points. But yeah.
But you can have one of those if you were single forever equally.
Yeah, but you don't get the
No.
headscarf if you're
But you
single.
could also buy the headscarf.
No, because I can't split the bills between two people.
Exactly.
I have to fork out for everything. My job's awful.
And if you get in
I'd
with
be
a
living a
rich
shoebox
person,
in. Where's a really, really rough part of Liverpool? Merseyside or somewhere.
Speak Morton. There's a few.
Well, I think on my current wage, I'd be living in Speak Morton in a shoebox, and all the locals would be looking down on me. If I couldn't split the bills,
Probably not.
that would be my way.
Probably. They'd just carry on as normal. You'd blend in well.
See, that's yeah. Kirsten, you could be the crazy aunt with 100 cats, and people would love and adore you as their weird relative. But I know that would not be my story.
You could potentially run the risk of becoming the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons as well. Yeah, the one with the one in the
Well, it
shopping
just throws
trolley.
cats
And
at
just,
people.
yeah, and just screams absolute nonsense at people.
I think that's a risk that Kirsten would be willing to take.
Yeah.
Just because it means cats.
Just don't throw a cat at me when I'm trying to drive past in my Mustang.
I mean, I already just like talk to people on public transport. I feel like this was a slippery slope to me, just like yelling at people, just chucking cats everywhere.
You pocket dogs at people.
Yeah. What a time to be alive.
It's raining cats and dogs because Kirsten's throwing them out the flat window.
Yeah.
Where have these tiny little dog poos come from? That's where they're from.
Well, I think that about wraps the episode. And I've been John, and I am needier than I realised.
And I am Kirsten, and I think I might need to go have a conversation to save my marriage now.
And I'm Lauren, and I'm off to feed my giant spider with his little hat on.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi, I'm John,
And I'm not John.
and we don't endorse the previous messages at all.
No, we don't support anything that was said. We were no part. We were hijacked. So if you were affected or upset by any of the messages, please direct them towards John Would Rather without a H. He hasn't got a H because it will make it obvious that he's a heathen and clearly doesn't care about anybody's feelings. So apologies to our listeners, and please come back next week and we'll make sure we give them stern talking to.